Start streaming.
To the Batmobile. Let's go.
Atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
Roger. Ready to move out.
All right. Basement Boy Banner, episode 100, live and in full effect.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Dogs aren't going to like
I don't know how that sounded, but that was amazing.
100. Oh, my God. Boom.
There we go.
Hold this so I don't pop it right in the mic.
Did I pop mine right in the mic?
I hope.
Oh, there we go. So Brian's on cleanup duty after this is over. The dogs went hiding, so they won't be a problem. We are Basement Boy Banner. I'm Thor. That's Brian, the normal host of the show.
Oh, yeah.
Weekly show. It's fine. We got some special guests in the house, some returning faces for the episode 100. Obviously, we had to have people on that have been on before. We got Marty returning over here.
Hi.
We got Chad returning.
Howdy.
So we got a lot in store for you tonight. We're gonna do a live stream for I don't know how long as it feels right, I guess, right?
Oh, yeah.
We got some Star Wars: The Last Jedi spoiler discussion. So if you haven't seen the movie, well, you should have already. You don't care that much, so just watch the spoilers anyways. And then we're gonna talk about Disney buying Fox and the ramifications in the nerd culture, the nerd sphere, as they say.
Oh, yeah.
We got Jessica Jones, Punisher. We got a lot of stuff in store for you. So, Brian.
Yes.
Should we start with Last Jedi? Should we begin there? Should we begin with something a little different?
Let's start lighter. I feel like Last Jedi is something that's everyone seems to be pretty heated on. So maybe we should.
Yeah. It's a main course.
It is.
So what do you
It's a
want to
main
start
course.
with?
Let's talk Fox, honestly.
Fox
I think
Disney?
That's a good one.
You
yeah.
want to start with Fox Disney? Okay, so
Yeah.
the biggest news earlier in the week was honestly that Fox and Disney have come to terms on their agreement for Disney to purchase all of 20th Century Fox Studios movies, their TV production studios, their catalog of IPs. So that's Avatar, War for Planet of the Apes stuff. Give me some other ones. Dragon Ball Evolution, that great film of cinematic.
What was the one I showed you last night? Firefly. They now have Firefly.
Simpsons. They got 22 Fox affiliates. Yeah, they got X. Well, obviously Marvel gets back X-Men,
Right.
Fantastic Four, Deadpool.
Well, and then you said that they've already said that they're planning on putting Deadpool and X-Men into.
Yep, I was gonna get there. I was totally gonna get there. They also got 30% of Hulu, so they own like 60% of Hulu now at this point.
Jeez.
What else did they acquire? They acquired a lot. They didn't acquire Fox News. They didn't acquire like the Fox Broadcasting channel, and there are a couple other minor things that they didn't acquire. But for the most part, they got pretty much everything that they wanted to get. And a lot of it, I mean, everyone talks about the Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
But that is literally the tip of the iceberg of why this deal went down.
Right.
Mainly it was the acquisition of IPs, so they can do something with either Hulu as their streaming service, or they've announced that in 2019 they want to have their own streaming service. So why don't you pass the mic off there and let a couple of guys, what do you guys think when you heard the news about Disney acquiring Fox?
Very excited.
Very excited?
Very excited.
I thought it was pretty interesting. My big thing was the Deadpool deal. I was hoping Disney doesn't take away the R rating.
Well, what Bob Iger said after the acquisition is that they weren't planning on well, obviously they can't change Deadpool 2. That's pretty much done, right?
Yeah.
But with Deadpool 3, they said they weren't gonna. I can't exactly remember how he worded it, but it was kind of saying like, we would maybe do a R-rated movie if we told the fans that's what they were getting. You know what I mean? It was a very ambiguous statement that it didn't assure me that they're going to do R-rated films, but it also didn't say like, no, we're not doing R-rated films. So it was, I took it that way. But they also get back. So you know what? Also, 20th Century Fox owns the original trilogy. That's why I always said. Remember, I always said the 20th Century Fox logo, then Lucasfilms. So now Disney got the distribution rights to the original trilogy. So could they re-release that finally? Who knows?
Don't people want them to re-release the original trilogy? I don't know if they have. I don't keep up on my original trilogy releases, but weren't people asking for like an unedited because Lucas did so much editing?
Well, yeah, they want the original. Yeah. They want the original cut.
Well, and let's be honest. I mean, the Disney Vault, all of that stuff. They know the original cut. They know what kind of cash money that is, and they know people want it. So I bet money that's on their to-do list somewhere.
But that might be like honestly, and there could be a thing in the deal where Disney bought Lucas that they never released the original trilogy unaltered. You know what I mean? Because Lucas really wanted it as the special editions as his final product.
Right.
Yep. So does having X-Men and Avengers in the same universe, and they're definitely going to be part of the MCU, what most excites you about that, Chad?
I like that idea. My biggest thing is if they can fix the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
They kind of screwed the pooch in that last one, as far as I'm concerned.
So would you rather see? So you think they could do a continue? Does anyone on the couch think they could actually continue the Marvel Cinematic Universe and incorporate the existing X-Men universe at all?
Easy.
Explain your point.
I mean, realistically, nothing has happened in any of these X-Men movies that we don't brush off every time another super. I mean,
well, and really, if you look at the last ones, it was the 70s,
Right.
the 80s. Phoenix is supposed to take place in the 90s, and Marvel Cinematic Universe is nowadays.
exactly. So, like, nothing in the new reboot. If anything, the reboot makes it easier.
Deadpool took place in the here and now.
Right, but again, it's one of those things. They even remember how I said it looked like there was a freaking the helicarrier in the background in
Yeah,
Deadpool.
they
and
made
stuff.
it look like that.
Literally. So it's like Fox was prepping for this deal for years. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
almost feels like they were like, let's reboot X-Men so it's easier to include into Disney's MCU. Like, it just feels like that. Not that I think they actually probably
I don't think
were
there's that
planning.
much foresight
Right.
in it.
But
But-
you know what I mean? It's so easy, it's not even funny. Now, the real question is whether Disney actually cares and whether they want to just reboot it because they'd rather it be all their own, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
creation rather than having to deal with someone else's canon.
And obviously, I stand on the complete opposite side of that coin. I don't think there's any way you actually can introduce the pre-existing X-Men cinematic universe in any constitution as it stands now with the slight exception of Deadpool. With the slight exception of Deadpool, you could maybe do that. But with the rest of the X-Men stuff, you'd have to find a different way.
Why?
Yeah.
That's my question. Whenever you
Where
say
have
this.
they been this whole time? Why hasn't there ever been any mention of mutants or
And
the
how,
stuff that
how
had
did
happened?
they
in the
always
past?
the exact same legitimizing factor when we're talking every single time we're like, well, where was Iron Man when the Thor movies were happening? In the second Thor movie, none of the Avengers came in and helped him when there's all the goop
When they showed up on Earth
and
and
the
stuff
Earth's
like
getting
that?
destroyed. It's like because they're dealing with other shit. They just started adding, Hulk's busy right now.
Okay, so
stuff.
now for like the four of us on this couch, that wouldn't be that confusing. But for our parents or average moviegoer, would that confuse them?
I would. There's a high possibility, yes.
It hasn't
See, I
confused
agree.
them thus far, though.
They've never been intertwined.
But think about, again, Avengers. The
People
great
are
example.
actually finally understanding that that there's a split between the two.
Right. So they didn't before.
And now
so
there's
if
and
you
now there's
remove
not. So I don't know what
Yeah,
worries
exactly.
me about this deal is has worried me the whole time is that number one, we're gonna get less superhero films a year. Yeah, because they're gonna have to do a Fantastic Four film or an X-Men film, and that's gonna be in place of maybe a Black Panther or a Captain Marvel. So we're getting less, and we're gonna get less variety now.
Black Panther.
You know what I mean? Had Fox had X-Men or had Disney had X-Men, we would have never gotten Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they wouldn't went that way. But what excites me now is the Galactus comes back, Silver Surfer. all the X-Men, all the X-Men, all their bad guys, but all the Fantastic Four, Doctor Doom.
When they bought Fox, did they get all of their production stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, realistically,
yeah, they
that
got all their
means
production studios.
They could probably pump out more movies in.
But
a
you think
year.
they're gonna do like a horror film, like the New Mutants looks like, or do you think they're gonna do like a Logan? No, because everything has to be within the continuity. So you can't have something. Logan jumps way past.
Right.
You know what I mean? So there's gonna be less creativity because it all has to stay within the confines of the cinematic universe, and that worries me slightly that we're not gonna get. Disney does a good job of keeping fresh, different Marvel films going,
Right.
but it worries me that we're not going to get anything really that fresh going forward. You know what I mean? Not really that fresh, but just as fresh as, Logan was or Deadpool was.
Right.
Speaking of Logan, what do you think about all the scuttlebutt on the internet about a young Logan, or who were they going to have play a young Logan?
Well, didn't he say
They're
that
going to
if
have to
they
recast.
He
No, he didn't say that.
Was
he
that a
never
lie?
he never said that. If you look into what he said, it's like he didn't actually say that he would come back. And I don't want them to bring Hugh Jackman back. They're not. They're going to have to recast the X-Men. They're going to have to redo it, and it's gonna be a difficult thing. What do you think, Marty?
I feel like because they have the whole metahumans already in that universe, they could just go from there where they're metahumans, and then the X-Men start out kind of thing. The whole university or that whole group kind of thing just start out. They can recast everyone. They can make it their own in a sense.
Yep, and exactly. And what makes this most interesting is you have Avengers 4 coming up. What they've already said is like a finale. And they had 10 films planned or 20 films planned after that. And that was before this acquisition. So it's curious to see how this acquisition is going to change those 20 films that have been planned and what the plan is maybe with the end of Avengers 4. If they do introduce,
Well, they might have to start doing a little bit more as far as like team up films, if that makes sense. And I don't necessarily mean like Avengers.
No,
team up.
like Thor Ragnarok
Yes.
was like Thor and Hulk together.
Yes.
Yeah, they're gonna have to do that for sure.
To consolidate this many characters is the only way you can do it.
Because you can have a storyline move through other people's movies. You know what I mean? And that's instead of having separate movies,
right.
which is going to be the way they're going to have to. I mean, you get to the point with so many cinematic characters that it's the only way to do it, unless you're putting out,
Right.
10 films a year. What happens to Gambit now, though? What happens to,
They're supposedly starting there. I don't know.
I don't think anything's going to start now. Everything that's done is done. So we're getting New Mutants, Deadpool 2,
Black Panther.
and, Black Panther's MCU, but,
But it's,
no, I mean on the Fox side.
oh.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So we're going to get, and then Dark Phoenix. The Dark Phoenix one, the last X-Men one. After that, it's who knows, because it's going to take 12 to 18 months for the regulatory things to actually go through this and get it cleared. So you really won't see any integration for at least a year, maybe 2.
Right. Well, and that's assuming everything goes smooth. I mean, who knows how much.
Right.
I mean, it's going to take a while to really get the ball rolling, Other than using what's already out, we're probably not. I mean, realistically, it doesn't change much for like you said, at least a year or two, other than they can start putting stuff places.
I just realized you're wearing a Happy New Year tiara. Like, I literally just realized that.
I've been wearing it the whole time.
See,
Right as I came in, I saw it.
God.
Why is it
No, so little story on the party poppers. For like the last couple weeks, we've been looking for like a little New Year's kit. So I finally found one at Target, like cheap ass one, and it had those tiaras in it. Of course, he broke them out. And he tried to pass them out beforehand, and we were all like, no, that's not happening.
I think that's a work of fiction. Martin, do you remember being asked if you want to wear a tiara?
No, I was never asked if I want to wear a tiara. Can I wear a tiara?
Sure, grab him a tiara.
What color do you want? We got. Honestly, that's the one I was going to start with, but, I didn't want to just
We're just going to
assume.
pretend they say 100th episode on them instead of Happy New Year, but...
Well, it's really close to the new year.
You can CGI
Outs-
in post-production.
Outside... Yeah, right, I got that kind of
Edit our
capabilities.
voices, instead of Happy New Year.
So outside the Deadpool, X-Men stuff, what makes you most excited about the Fox Disney acquisition or Disney Fox acquisition, or most nervous about it? Chad.
Nervous about it?
Or what makes you more excited? Are you excited they have Avatar now, or Dragon Ball Evolution, and they can maybe redo the Dragon Ball universe?
You're the Dragon Ball guy. You and my brother.
That might be what I'm excited for.
Let's see. Avatar, that was pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know. Is he ever gonna make a second one?
Oh, they've been working on a second one for multitudes of years.
My other question was, okay, so Logan. I mean, I like how they ended it, you know.
Right.
But that's Fox, right?
Yeah. Here, you can slide down. He's gonna lose his spot now that he stepped out for a second.
So
That's Fox. Yeah.
okay, so now what happens with Laura and all the young mutants?
Forget any of that. That's like pretty much. You could almost look at Logan as an Elseworld story told with the same characters that we know. You know what I mean? Like it takes place in the universe we know, but not really in the universe we know. Like think of it as like Days of Future's Past timeline,
Right.
before it got reset, or you know what I mean? So they'll never do anything with like X-23 or anything like that. There were some talks that they were maybe going to do an X-23 movie, but I think that died when Disney acquired Fox. Because everything they're going to want to do, they're going to want to match their cinematic universe. That's, I mean, bottom line. You know what I mean? Like everything they're going to want to do, they're going to want to make fit into what they already have set, or what they're going to set going forward. So in that aspect, it's going to be difficult to really use anything that's come already, which is why I'm afraid Deadpool might end up getting, I don't know. Hopefully they'll just put Deadpool off to the side. But then how can you do Deadpool without the rest of the X-Men? You know what I mean? Like there's so many questions that this arises, but I'm most excited for the Dragon Ball thing. So technically, and I'm not even sure that they own the Dragon Ball movie rights. Let me state this first and foremost. I'm not sure they own the Dragon Ball movie rights, but Dragon Ball Evolution was distributed by Fox, by 21st Century Fox, and
Is that the crappy?
that's the that's one of the worst movies ever made for sure.
That was the glowing balls.
It wasn't that bad. I mean,
No, it was awful. It was
if I had no idea
god
what
awful.
Dragon Ball was, it was a weird movie.
It was trash. It was straight trash. So, which actually, when Brian comes back, we'll get that. We'll start maybe doing like best and worst of the year, because I definitely have a best of the year and a worst of the year. Maybe not worst of the year, but most disappointing. Mine's actually definitely worst of the year.
All right, cool.
So-
Question then:
What?
They're shooting Venom with Tom Hardy. Who's
That's
that?
Sony.
Oh.
Sony owns Spider-Man. Speaking of, did you guys see the Spider-Man trailer? The Spider-Man
Cartoon?
into the Spider-Verse?
Cartoon.
Yeah, it's about Miles Morales.
Yeah.
It was about a minute and a half, 2 minutes long. I saw it at both times I saw Last Jedi.
Yeah, it was
And no, it's interesting. So you see Peter Parker's like dead. They have like his
Right.
they had his like gravestone, and then you see Miles Morales kind of running around. I think you see, and there's like a multitude of different Spider-Men in this universe.
Yeah, 'cause
We're talking about Spider-Man
I
into
can
the
hear you.
Spider-Verse now.
weren't they sitting on a bench or something, and he's asking, so how many of us are there?
Yeah, that he was talking to what I assume is Peter Parker from a different universe.
I don't even remember that, honestly. I don't think I got that trailer.
Yeah, me neither.
Really?
Yeah, not in the Ultra screen. In
Huh?
3D.
I got it both times. I got that.
Really?
I got I got Avengers Infinity War.
Yeah, I got that.
So, and that's one of the things that worries me. Like, I'm already worried about there being too many people in Infinity War. I can imagine X-Men, Infinity War.
That Infinity War
it's just-
trailer.
Off killing each one. Oh, it's not gonna be a problem.
It's gonna be
Dude,
awful.
that trailer. Do you know how much more excited I am for that movie after seeing that trailer in 3D on the Ultra screen?
I'm still more pumped for Black Panther right now.
Well, and I'm really like.
I'm more pumped for Black Panther than I am Infinity War, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I am. I really am. So we're talking about should we get into maybe best and worst of the year? Oh yeah, so quick. Punisher's coming back for a second season,
Oh yeah.
and the Jessica Jones season 2. Oh yeah, I finished it. I didn't really like it that much.
What?
I thought it was cool.
Get the heck out of here.
But it wasn't a Punisher. It wasn't really Punisher. It was Frank Castle year 1. You know what I mean? Like, it was fine, and it like built who he was and him and Micro's relationship. But honestly, I'm gonna say it wasn't my favorite. The last, it was like, I think the second or third to the last episode was the best episode. The final episode, I was like,
Okay.
like really
Punisher or Iron Fist?
Punisher, 100%,
Okay, just checking.
100%.
Really?
Yeah, I hate Iron Fist.
That's so funny.
But that Jessica Jones season 2 trailer looks legit. I'm pumped for Jessica Jones to come back. That was one of my. She's definitely up there.
yeah.
Like, she's above Defenders. She's right behind, I'd say, Daredevil season 1, 2, and Luke Cage. Then it'd be Jessica Jones, then probably Punisher, then Defenders, then Iron Fist for me. Oh, so one of the things I want to do, and so I didn't
Well,
tell
you
you guys this
technically
ahead of
died.
time. I didn't tell you guys this ahead of time. So we're gonna do our list of Star Wars movies. So all 8,
Oh God.
9 films. We're gonna 1 through 9.
I think it's more on you.
No, that's every we've all seen all 9 films.
The teacher says we're all doing it. You're all doing it. End
Yep.
of story.
Yep, we're gonna go 1, 2, 3. Rogue One's in there. Yep, every cinematic film outside of Clone Wars, the cartoon one.
I didn't have time for cheat sheet.
Nope, too bad. Well, I got paper right here. You need to grab something and start
Oh,
scribbling it
jeez.
down. Go ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead. So do you want to do? Should we do our predictions? So after Base Boy Banner episode 100, which is what you're watching right now, we will be watching Clash of Champions.
Oh yeah.
The pay-per-view, and we're gonna do predictions beforehand, and then we'll have a live Wrestling in the Basement, more traditional style setup after the pay-per-view. So make sure to tune into that. What match are you most excited for tonight at Clash of Champions?
Oh my God, dude. I don't even know. Haven't been paying attention at all. I couldn't even tell you one match for this.
Jinder
thing.
Mahal versus AJ Styles. How's that do for you?
Oh God.
Okay.
As long as AJ wins.
Natalia versus Charlotte for the 15th time.
As long as Charlotte wins.
Bobby Roode versus Baron Corbin versus Dolph Ziggler.
That one actually sounds pretty good.
Okay. I already said that one. Shinsuke Nakamura and Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn with special referees Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan. And if Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens lose, they're fired from WWE. Not just SmackDown, all of WWE.
I mean, it's going to be a shenanigans match.
Oh, it's going to be
100%.
shenanigans-filled debacle.
So it's going to be one of those matches that everyone's going to complain about because it's not like traditional, and all the hardcore purists are going to be like, this match was horrible because it was just a bunch of shenanigans. But it's going to be a complete shenanigans
Oh, no,
match.
it's going to be full of shenanigans.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is it true that Undertaker is coming back, or
They say he's going to appear at the 25th anniversary show of Monday Night Raw.
Did they say he's going to wrestle or just appear?
No, appear. Definitely not wrestle. There's no way he's wrestling. Appear, yes. Wrestle, no. I don't know, but he's probably recovered from hip surgery at this point. No, I think he had like a hip replacement after he got done wrestling at last year's Mania. I'm pretty sure that happened. Whatever. So best and worst of the year. What was your favorite? Let's go down the line here, starting with Brian, and we'll work our way down.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite comic book movie or nerd movie of the year?
I mean, nerd movie kind of opens up the gate, but comic book movie is going to be, Thor.
Thor Ragnarok?
Yeah, I mean, you really can't really touch that one.
So what did we have this year? We had Logan.
Right.
We had Doctor Strange, I think was last year, wasn't it?
That might have been like the very end of last year, wasn't it?
So we had Logan. We had Spider-Man Homecoming, Wonder Woman, Justice League, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
I think that's it.
yeah, I think
That's it.
No, that was last
That
year.
was last year.
Mm-hmm,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So Logan, Spider-Man,
blends
Guardians, Wonder Woman, Thor,
Justice
League.
Right.
So
I still
and your
haven't
favorite
seen,
still Thor?
I haven't seen Wonder Woman, so I gotta
You've never
throw
seen
that one out.
Oh my god. Oh, that's right. I forgot you hate women. I forgot. I forgot. We've gone over this before.
I think the real reason was I was busy the weekend it came out and just haven't
That
gotten
movie
around to it.
came out 7 months ago. You haven't gotten around to it in 7 months. I know your life. You're not that busy.
I made it to the moon, okay?
In that game you play?
Yes.
See, exactly. What's the name of the game?
Kerbal Space Program.
Yeah,
dude.
exactly. That's what he's been doing, not watching Wonder Woman because he hates women. So my favorite combo movie of the year actually is Wonder Woman. Oh, sorry.
Going
we're
down the
jumping-
line, you
All right.
freaking line
I
jumper.
I forgot. So Marty,
Guardians of the Galaxy 2?
really, Volume 2? Okay.
I like what they did.
I know. He just lets you hold it for him.
I can't remember his name right now, but Chris Pratt's dad in the movie.
Kurt Russell. I couldn't remember his
Ego,
name right now.
Ego.
Kurt Russell.
Because of how they made it in a compilation.
I know. Jesus.
I'm not good with names.
Right. or
But
memories.
Planet guy.
The whole thing with
Right.
that whole thing, it wasn't like I
Okay.
think the first one was better, but
Definitely.
I still liked how they did with that
Was
movie.
Rocket Con the 2-inch guy on top of the shit?
It was a 2-inch guy who saved
Oh yeah,
us.
yeah, yeah.
He could have been far away.
So all right, going down the line, Chad.
I'm gonna have to go with Logan. I'm pro Wolverine. Sorry. Although I did appreciate Wonder Woman. I was really a good movie actually.
Well, you suck. So you actually like women, unlike Brian.
I saw it too. I like women.
Thanks, Martin. So, realistically, I was hoping you were going to say Logan, because when we were talking about the Disney Marvel thing, who do you want to see as the next Logan, or do you want them to go like a younger one? Like what are you thinking with Wolverine? Because I know you're a big Wolverine guy.
Correct. I've been hearing a lot of different ones, or I've seen a lot of different ones on the interweb. I don't know. Some people were saying Tom Hardy, but I'm like, well, if he's doing Venom, kind of hard for him to be Wolverine.
Right. Well, no, I mean that's because the Venom movie's not in the MCU.
Well, yeah.
So.
But then again, he could be like, what's his name? Captain America and the Human Torch.
Well, think about this. Cable and Thanos are both played by Josh Brolin.
Right.
Now Disney owns Fox. They're both in the same cinematic universe, technically, at the moment.
Do you think he gets 2 paychecks, or they're gonna make him do?
He gets two.
each
He
role?
gets 2 paychecks, one per character. One per character. So, do you have an actor that you would say besides Hardy?
I saw him saying something about Gyllenhaal. I guess I can't see him.
I
as
don't
a
know his
Wolverine.
name, but what's God? I feel stupid. What's his face's son? Remember?
Clint Eastwood's son.
Oh yeah, dude.
You just gotta. Let me ask you this. Someone said to me the other day, Jason Momoa as Goku. If Fox was to do like a Dragon Ball,
I'd be down.
really?
I'd be down.
Aquaman?
Oh. I mean that.
Too old.
Yeah.
Too big.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah.
Curly.
I mean,
Yeah. I don't like.
I
I
guess
don't like it.
young Goku, maybe like really, really young Goku, like teenage Goku. I
If
could
you're
see
gonna
those
start,
complaints,
if
but-
you let's say you're gonna start a Dragon Ball series, and I'm kind of backtracking to the Fox stuff again with the Dragon Ball, but let's say you're gonna start a Dragon Ball cinematic universe similar to the MCU. You have to start young. Oh yeah.
Finish you.
Oh, what my favorite movie? Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman. I love that movie. That was by far my favorite.
Follow his own script.
Justice League was all right. Thor Ragnarok was the obvious choice, and it was a really close second. I was literally debating it up until the other day.
and you're over here hassling me.
What? Thor Ragnarok was a close second. I've actually seen Wonder Woman though, so I can actually have that debate in my mind.
Oh my god.
I own it. You could have borrowed it from me.
You never even offered. Do you believe
I
this
did.
guy?
No, I did. I borrowed it to my mom and dad, my brother.
See, it's been occupied the whole time.
No,
and he's
that
over
was.
here like,
It's,
oh,
I've had
I
it for
told
6
you like
months. I've had it
6
for
times.
5 months.
I
So
have it too. You could have borrowed mine.
see, Chad had it too. He could have borrowed either one. So whatever. So
get
but
outta
no,
here.
mine was definitely
100th episode canceled.
Wonder Woman for sure. What was your favorite movie of the year overall that you saw?
See, it's hard to remember everything. There's so much.
Yeah.
Like half the movies you mentioned, I'm like, dude. I mean, I don't
Like,
know. I'd probably
dude.
go Thor Ragnarok again.
Of all, I guess.
I haven't seen a lot of movies this year, though. To be fair, mostly only comic book.
What about?
movies.
Did you see like Golden Circle?
No,
Kingsman,
I
Golden
didn't
Circle.
never end up seeing that.
That was all right. That was kind of it was slightly disappointing. I would say it wasn't like my favorite or like my favorite one. It's only the second
you're
one.
pretty
but-
up on movies. Did you see a lot this year?
Somewhat, but mainly superhero movies. Like
Yeah.
that's all I was really going for. I mean,
That and Star Wars.
Star Wars. Shall we get into it?
I mean, we have to.
We're gonna have to. All right. So Star Wars spoilers. If you haven't seen The Last Jedi, you might wanna just go see it.
Episode for you.
Yeah, this is that's right. That's right. Exactly. So let's start out for Last Jedi, which I had a super disconjointed reaction video that I put up the other night that you can go enjoy. But for our full spoiler review, I got to see the movie a second time, and
You mean your Thor's Thoughts one?
yeah,
Yeah. I
oh yeah,
watched it.
really, it was all over the place. yeah, Thor's thoughts was all over the place the other night.
Well, you didn't want to spoil anything, so
No, I didn't. No, it was
I could tell you were
non-spoiler.
conflicted.
I was. I think that was.
That's a movie that's tough to really get into why you did or didn't like it, especially because so many people are lukewarm on it. And a lot of the reasons people are lukewarm, it's spoilers. You know what I mean?
Well,
so
and-
it's tough to be like, oh, yeah, it was okay, but I don't want to spoiler the reason why it was okay.
the general consensus. Most people come out of that movie, I'd say, would feel somewhat conflicted. You know what I mean? Because there's definitely stuff that I would say almost anybody who's a Star Wars fan would love. And there's definitely stuff I think most Star Wars fans didn't like very much.
Right.
So let's start with like the good. I mean, so and we're gonna start with, let's do the same thing we did for the best Oh no, we can, you know what? We can't go into Last Jedi
Why?
because we didn't do worst of the year.
Oh. Well, you already prepped people, so it's too late. Worst of the year after Last
All
Jedi.
right. I do. You ever seen Transformers: The Last Night?
all right.
Oh my God.
Because I heard about the reviews. So.
All right, so we'll get into that here shortly. All right, so now it's on my brain. Last Jedi, spoilers review. I really like the movie. I really like the movie a lot. It took a lot of. See, it sounds cliche, like all the things that I'm about to say, like took chances and it was bold and blah 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 blah, and like a million other people have said that, but it did. This is not like any other Star Wars movie that's come out before.
Right.
Like, I think anybody can agree on that. Whether you like it, whether you hate it, you know, it's not like anything else going right now.
Right.
You know, so just opening, did you like or dislike the movie? Wait, Marty, have you seen the film? You did see the film. Okay. So, all right. Like or dislike?
Oh, me first?
Yeah, duh.
Liked, obviously.
Liked, obviously. Liked,
Obviously.
not loved.
Well, there was enough parts where there was a few parts where I was like, oh, you know, cut this out of the movie and probably shift to love. There's a lot of things I
Shift to love.
really, really liked. And honestly, one of the things I really liked, most people whine about.
Like what?
Dude, we've talked about the Snoke.
The way Snoke was.
Dude.
It's spoilers, so you can say it. The way Snoke.
The way
died.
Snoke dies is perfect in every single way.
All
A
right,
cheap
you
shot
can-
is
hold on,
how
and you
Sith
can- and you-
should die.
And you can explain that. A little bit. Marty, like or dislike?
I liked, but it could have been better, honestly.
All right.
But the thing with the Snoke thing, I have something to say about that. Like, it's beautiful.
So, all right, we'll definitely
Yeah.
get there. So Chad, you just saw it last night.
Yep.
Right? Freshest mind.
10:20.
10:20 last night. What'd you think?
I really liked it. I wouldn't say loved it. I'm a Star Wars fan. I'm not as huge as you two guys are, but I really liked the movie.
So, am I probably the biggest Star Wars fan here, realistically?
I'll
Yes.
say yes
All right.
because you have seniority because you're ancient, but
He's older than I am.
I'm older than all of you guys, so.
Yeah, he's older than I am. See, you're outnumbered. No, you're not. It's equal. So, all right, as the senior Star Wars fan, apparently, no, what I liked about this film is, like I said, it did something I didn't expect, and I don't think many people expected. Where it goes next is up for debate for the next 2 years now. We're back to J.J. Abrams. A lot of things changed. I mean, this movie opens up with a joke. It opens up with Poe and General Hux doing the call thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was friggin' funny.
Like that's how the movie opened up.
I'll hold.
Yeah, I'll hold. Yep. And that was really true to like Poe's character.
well, and really true to General Hux's character because he's think about it, he's very like high on himself.
Yeah.
So he would be willing to wait to get a hold of Leia to tell her he's about to destroy her ship.
Right.
Whereas if you weren't high on yourself, you'd just be like, blow up that ship.
Right. Destroy him.
The other general
Yeah.
guy's like, we should have scrambled fighters like 5 minutes ago.
So that
Because he's not high on himself. He cares about winning.
right.
And then one guy
Hux-
tell him, I think he's giving you the business.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because Hux,
Yep.
all he cares about, he doesn't care about winning or the First Order being number one. He cares about him being number
Right.
one.
So then that opening scene of them attacking the dreadnought, and I like the dreadnought and the commander of the Dreadnought. He was cool. He was in it for a short time because they ended up blowing that thing up. But those bombers coming in, and you know, Poe kind of not listening. Those bombers are sick, aren't they?
Can I
Yeah.
ask a question? Though?
Yeah, go for it. I'm gonna step over
As far as the bombers,
Yeah.
the bombers, I mean, they were cool looking and all, but
Yeah.
they're spaceships. Aren't they supposed to fly faster than that? Even if they have a bunch of bombs on it?
Realistically, though, when we're talking spaceships and stuff, you got to remember the cargo. If you're carrying bombs, you got to watch. I'm sure. Speed's a factor as far as, and they're fighters. I mean,
Right.
and to be fair, we always kind of analyze the physics of space movies when it's like you got to suspend disbelief a lot.
Right.
And it would be less fun if the bombers were really fast and destroyed the ship easily, because then you'd be like, why don't they only make bombers instead of the stupid fighters that can't destroy a dreadnought?
At that aspect, I kind of liked how they were slow moving and kind of like throwback to the old flying fortresses and the Mustangs protect them and stuff. But I don't know, I just thought, I'm like, could they fly any slower?
Yeah, I thought that too. Like, they should have been moving slightly. I mean, that was like, you know, they would have had more jets on the back.
Okay, as a guy who's been playing Kerbal Space Program, the resident expert in physics, I can tell you.
So
right
then
now,
after they destroy the dreadnought with that scene, and I like Paige, Rose's sister that we see. She's the one that kicks the thing and then catches it, blows it up. After that part, we jump to Finn waking up, which was cool. And then BB-8's like, what was he? Finn naked, leaking or something, bag leaking. And then they go, "Where's Rey?" And then we shoot to the island, and we get to that scene where he grabs the lightsaber and he throws it over his shoulder. I thought that was really, no one saw that one coming. Everyone was like, "What is he gonna say? What's he gonna do?" And like, he's just like, "Nope," and then walks off. So what did you guys think of that one?
The milk, when he looked her in the face and slurped it down.
Yeah,
Oh.
the green milk.
Yes.
The green milk.
Yes.
Yeah, him fishing. I liked like her following him around.
His daily routine.
So after he throws the lightsaber, he's pretty much like, "I don't want any part of this. I'm done. I'm out. I came here to die." Like he said that, I think, a little bit later.
right?
But Rey's kind of like, you know, "We need you to come back. We need you to be Luke Skywalker." And then he had that line, "What do you expect me to do? Go stand down the First Order with
A laser sword.
A laser sword?
How do you think this is gonna go?
Right. Which was some foreshadowing, because later in the movie, what did he exactly do?
Right, but I mean, he didn't.
He did, but he didn't. He walked out with a laser
well,
sword and
right,
stood down the First
stood down
Order.
the First
Yeah.
Order and lost.
He wasn't technically there.
Right,
But yeah, I get what you're saying.
And you saw exactly what would have happened if he was there. They would have bombarded him to hell, and he would be dead.
Well, it was funny too, because then the one commander is like, "You think you got him?" after the barrage.
Yeah.
You think you
No.
got him?
So
And he does that.
Well, and I didn't like that at first, but once it was like discovered that he was not actually there, I was like, you know, I like it better now, because I wouldn't have liked it if he actually shrugged off the blows and did
we're
that.
jumping way far ahead now.
Well,
We're jumping way
whatever.
far ahead. So Porgs, love them, hate them.
Wait, what?
Porgs.
Those little
The little birdie
annoying
thing.
things? Yeah, they're annoying.
You don't
I didn't
'em?
like him either. I didn't like him.
They were another ploy.
Am I the only one here who liked the Porgs?
Pretty much.
I have a Porg.
Yeah.
He's up there on the shelf. He's
Yeah.
a Porg pop.
Get him out of here.
The part
Yeah,
I didn't like is they kept freaking tearing up the Millennium Falcon.
What about the part where Chewie had one roasted and was gonna eat it, and they were like all like giving him the business, giving him the looks and stuff like that?
He should have just eaten it. It was already he already
Or the
killed
Porg
it.
that almost killed itself because it was jumping on the lightsaber, and the other one was in front of it.
That part.
Yeah.
That was like dodos right there. I love that. But
Yep. No, I liked how they were used. I don't think they were overused.
Well, and I'll agree. As much as I don't like them,
Yeah.
and you could have probably cut every scene they're in out, it wasn't nearly as. I mean, it wasn't nearly as in your face as.
It's
like,
not Jar Jar Binks.
It's not even Ewoks, to be
Right,
honest.
exactly.
With you.
That's why I said they didn't save the galaxy.
Right. They were very
Forest
limited.
bears who saved the fucking galaxy.
Very limited.
Sorry about that one.
what about the caretakers?
Trying to keep it
that were
PG.
there? The weird.
The caretakers, I actually liked them because they hated Rey after she like blew the hole. So after they started doing this, the force video chat or whatever, the force video chat. What did you think about the force video chat?
I thought that was
thing?
awesome.
You like that?
I thought it was awesome.
I was
Force Skyping.
yeah.
Yeah.
The force Skyping.
Oh,
Yep. Yeah.
I don't want to do this right now.
Well, and did you catch that part where the first time they're doing it, he's like, "How is this happening? This would kill you if you did this." Like Kylo says that to Rey.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Oh, I didn't even
Yep.
pick up on that.
Yep.
Say that and
Yeah, he goes, "This would kill you, like if you were to
Right.
do this."
Right.
So
And
it's
then,
kind of
yeah, crazy
it's-
foreshadowing, yeah.
interesting. It was interesting. So Kylo and Rey have this connection throughout the movie where they're like force Skyping for the most part.
that one, she's like, "Could you put a shirt or a towel on?" Or something?
Yeah, that was dope. That was dope. And then when he had the rain, and then the last time they actually did it, he was there physically.
Right.
That
right.
was almost some more foreshadowing for the Luke scene later. You know what I mean? And then we skip past the beginning part. Leia getting blown out into space, and then turning into either
That's
the Wicked
hilarious,
Witch of the
'cause
West
almost
or
everyone
Superman
hated
flying.
that.
Hold on, what did you say?
I thought that was actually kind of cool.
my god,
Yeah. I mean, it was a little over the top, but
a little over the top.
a little over the top. But the fact that we actually get to see Leia use the Force.
I mean,
No,
the whole thing where I thought she was going to be dead
Go
in the
ahead.
trailers, and then she came back, and she was in the whole film. That's why I liked it. It was a shocker for me.
All right, I hated it, but I understand exactly what you're saying. So
Well, and when they talk about it,
They've-
I don't like it either, but I'm a little more on board when
Okay.
they start are like why they like
well,
it.
like you were saying, you want to see Leia use the Force. Now, obviously, she's Force sensitive, but she's never been trained in the ways of the Force. So, at some point, she must have, or at some point, if she was going to use the Force, it had to be in like an emergency situation, right? Like it had to be almost, like when a mutant power gets exposed, it's like in a high stress situation, right? Same type of thing. But there were different ways they could have done it instead of have her blow out into space, start to crystallize, and then like open up and then fly like Superman to the spaceship.
That wasn't exactly
That-
Superman-ish.
She has her hand. She's
One
dang
hand,
near flying
one
like
hand.
Superman.
Well, and everyone's like, when you said Superman, that's exactly what I thought when I saw it. But everyone's been describing it as like Dragon Ball Z. And I'm
yeah, I
like, no,
could-
it's way more. It's way more Superman.
I heard
He's
it
got
a
this,
witch.
the one hand.
I heard it as a witch.
Yeah.
It was a Force hand.
So I can't believe we skipped over that part. So then,
I like
But
it.
that part
leads
was
to,
also not that long.
that
Didn't
leads to
ruin
my
much.
literally least favorite part of the movie is after that happens. Then Finn, Poe, and the Rose chick. Which did you guys like the Rose character?
No.
Really?
No.
You didn't like the Rose character?
She was mean to Poe.
She was mean to Poe.
liked him.
Well,
No,
like,
Finn.
No, mean to Poe. She kept denying, like, no, you can't do that. Go away, kind of thing. And like, he kept trying to like give an idea, and then she's like, no. If you do another act like this, I'm gonna.
No. You're thinking about the
Oh,
commander.
you're thinking of General Hodo.
Rose's Asian chick.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, she was cool,
Okay.
but I don't like how she saved Finn.
Okay,
honestly.
yeah, the end
Yeah,
part.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll get
neither.
there. We'll get there.
yeah.
Will you two slow down? We'll get there. Jeez, we got some time here.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Till the end part. Yeah, we'll get there.
How the hell did Finn bring him all the way back that fast? That was.
Well, he's powerful. Use the Force.
Right. So
The Force.
they didn't show that, but so then when those three crack up the plan to. Or well, they don't crack up the plan. They do make the plan to go break into the ship and turn off the tracking because they can track them through hyperspace.
Right. Well, and you're about this is Thor's least favorite part of the movie, but it
This is
introduces
literally my least favorite part
my
of the movie.
favorite character in this whole movie is this part
Broom
of the
Boy?
movie,
The Cobra.
Oh,
the Code Breaker.
Broom Boy. All right, we'll get there. See, you're jumping ahead of me now. So then that's when the Maz scene comes up, though.
Mm-hmm.
I hated that Maz scene. The Maz when Maz Kanata was there and she was told him about the Code Breaker and it looked
Yeah.
like literally something off like Battlefront 2.
I mean, it didn't look
Oh,
good.
the little goggle lady.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Yep.
It didn't look good,
So-
but
And she was such an awesome character in The Force Awakens. She was so, I'm not gonna say misused, but just poorly used in this. You know what I mean?
it felt if they didn't call her and instead one of the other people was like, oh yeah, I know about this codebreaker guy, it would have changed nothing. And that's what you don't like about it. And plus, it didn't look great. It's the fact that she could be replaced with literally some bystander character in the background, and it would have changed nothing. So why even put her in there instead of giving her a cool part?
Right. So, and before we get to Canto Bight, we go back to the island because then Luke goes on the Millennium Falcon after Chewie blows the door down, and he's like, "Where's Han?" And then he goes on the Falcon. That's when I have one of my favorite moments, him and R2. When Luke sees R2 again, and he's like, "R2," and then he's like, "Watch the language," or whatever he says. And then he's like, "I'm out." And then he's like, "There's nothing you can do." And R2 plays the original message. And that, like,
That was cheap.
dude, yeah, that was cheap.
That was cheap.
Yep. That was such a great moment in that film. You know what I mean? Like that was such a great,
And
like,
not just a
old
pointless callback either.
No.
It's like a touching moment. Like,
very
this
is.
is
Yeah,
why
very much
you
so.
first started adventuring, dude.
yep.
You know, this is why you left the desert, a planet like this that sucks and is just a place for someone to die.
So then he
Go on
started
adventure and make a
training. So then he
difference.
starts training Rey, or he's gonna give her 3 lessons. You know
Really
what I
funny with that
mean?
creepy scene, him standing over. You train tomorrow.
Yeah, where he wakes her up on the bench. Yeah. That was weird. How like the whole time she was sleeping on a bench, and then after he said that, then they gave her one of those little huts. Like they couldn't have given her one of those little huts prior to, like. Honestly, they made her sleep on the bench for like a couple days because it's weird. This movie takes place in like the span of like what 4 or 5 days at most.
I don't even think, because they only had, what,
16
hours
hours
worth of fuel?
I thought it was 60.
16.
Oh,
16
So
hours.
realistically, a couple days. But you
Yeah, a
could
couple
argue you could
days.
argue that some of the stuff that happened on the island could have been happening before it came down to the wire like that.
Right.
Because nothing, when she's interacting with Kylo, there's nothing that implies they're bombarding, I guess, as far as I remember. So I think you could argue that point, but I don't, you know what I mean? The way it's paced is like, why would you
Right.
even set it up that way? But,
Well, it was cool to see like the Jedi tree and then those books and then the dark cave below. And then when she was in the cave and you saw the parents and then it merged into her. That was some really cool stuff, like the cool training stuff. It was some of the stuff I liked the most was that part. And then Finn and Rose have to go get. So when they talk to Maz, she said, "Find the master code breaker," which is like send you on a mission at Battlefront. And so they go to Canto Bight, which is like the. You want to explain what Canto Bight is?
I mean, it's a casino world, right?
Casino world, and all the people there are like
War profiteers, people
you go.
who sell
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
to both the rebels and the First Order.
So they go there looking for someone wearing like a red flower. And for some reason they land on the beach instead of like an approved landing spot. So they
Right,
get
which
arrested,
was
which I
weird.
thought was stupid to begin with.
Right.
And then and it all looked like this was like the Harry Potter part of the film. It literally was. It reminded me of Harry Potter. This whole sequence reminded me of Potter. But
The gambling planet?
yeah, the gambling planet reminded me of Harry Potter for sure. So Rose had some awful dialogue in that scene. So who else hated this scene like I did, or did you guys like it like Brian?
Well, I didn't say I liked the scene. I liked
Yeah,
the
you did.
guy.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't like how, like, I liked it was really flashy and it looked really cool, but other than that, it wasn't, I didn't like how they were so stupid about that and, like, how they didn't even get the guy they needed, like.
Right, yeah, they ended up getting a substitute code breaker.
Right, some like scoundrel dude.
Well, and Thor had a really good point about how they could have made that scene way better.
Okay, so check this out. So who have we not? One of the original characters we haven't seen yet is Lando Calrissian, right? Perfect way to introduce him is they have to go find the master code breaker. He's a high roller at the casino, at the high roller table. They walk in and it's Billy D sitting at the high roller table doing that. They could have even bumped into him, right? And then the guard do it all the same, right? Have him bump into him. The guards are chasing him because of where they parked. They see them with Billy D, so they start chasing all 3 of them. Then all 3 get thrown in jail, so it's almost the exact same thing. He has to break them out of jail. They escape.
Well, and I don't
You
even
literally could almost do the exact same thing and just replace
and see
that
the
one
thing.
part.
I don't even necessarily think they need to go that extreme. It would have just been better if instead of that guy sitting in that seat, it was Billy D. And it was literally exactly
Drinking
the
a Colt
same.
45.
He says, "Oh, don't worry about it, baby. Let's keep playing dice or whatever." But it's Billy D. Because
Right.
it would have just introduced him and it would have fleshed out the universe a little bit more. giving Maz a reason to know this guy.
So then they meet the kids and stuff and explain about the slave children that are pretty much like Anakin, it's a very similar theme, right? Then we get the horse thingies. And I dislike the horse thingies. And then they ride the horse thingies at like 100 miles an hour through the city, getting
Those lights
In a
just
stampede.
decapitated
the,
them.
Thank you.
Which
what
is
did you
exactly-
just say, Marty? Give that
literally.
to him again. What did you just say, Marty?
The lights would have just decapitated
That's
them.
exactly what I
I
told Brian on
literally
the
heard,
phone
yeah,
the other day.
yesterday. Holy
Yeah,
man.
in the alleyway. Yeah.
Did you
They
guys
would-
connect up before this thing?
No, we haven't talked in like months.
Yeah, and then she's like taking them off.
Yeah, and then they're going at that speed too, because they're outrunning like pretty much ships in
Right,
the air.
speeders.
Come on. Although I will say the part where they're running on the beach and there's like the moon and stuff, that was pretty cool looking. Outside of that, that's your Harry Potter moment.
Well, yeah, and then they like go up that wall.
Yeah, they go. Oh God. Yeah, that's the
super
part.
steep.
That's Padme and that's almost Padme and Anakin on Naboo bad.
Not even close.
Sand.
Not even close.
that
Get
beach,
out of here.
the
Get the
big-
heck out of
I'm
here.
just saying. I'm
Not
just
even
saying.
close, dude.
I'm just saying. For me, it might be. It might be.
Get the heck out
So
of here.
then, so then after that, Ray's pretty much Ray's on the island and it's pretty much like you got to come back with me or I got to leave, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then she takes off. Like, isn't that part? Because they get back.
Well, it's
They
after she
break
finds
in.
out what happened with Luke.
Oh,
and
yeah. Let's talk about that. So, because we did get to see Luke holding the green lightsaber, but it was him standing over Kylo Ren. So like
Two versions even.
there were technically three versions of why Kylo turned to the dark side.
Right.
One is Luke's original version, which is like one night he went in there and then Kylo just turned on him, burned the school down, took a handful of students, killed the rest. That part about the handful of students never gets explored anymore. So
Right.
I really hope they do something with that at some point because that's Knights of Ren type stuff. Then Kylo tells Rey and they're force Skyping that it was that that Luke came in to kill him.
Right.
He woke up, defended himself, burned it down, killed people, took the other dudes. Then Luke's like, okay, the story was I was in there. I could feel the darkness in him. I lit up my lightsaber. I thought about it for a second. I delit it. Wasn't going to do it. He turned around. He freaked out.
Right.
And then that's how it went down. And that comes out through like the, first like 2/3 of the movie or whatever. And that's the reason that like Luke failed him and he went to Snoke full time. But Snoke had already infiltrated him at that point. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's what Luke said basically was like he was evil. It wasn't like I pulled the lightsaber on a good guy and
Right.
then he turned evil.
Right.
I pulled the lightsaber on an evil guy, but then felt horrible because instead of trying to fix him and turn him good again or help him, I pulled the lightsaber out and almost killed my best friend's and sister's son, who I sensed evil in.
Right.
Like,
His nephew, right?
Yeah, his
Yeah.
nephew. Yep, that's his nephew.
well, and I convoluted it. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, his nephew. So then she thinks she can turn him, which is why she's gonna leave because he's not gonna come back and help them. So she needs to turn Kylo, so then her and Kylo can like help the Resistance or whatever. This whole story is literally about the Resistance just retreating and retreating and retreating and losing and failed plans and so then they meet that DJ character who's just I didn't like much about him, the Benicio del Toro character.
Yeah,
I didn't like the stutter.
Yeah, they
didn't like the stutter.
I'm like, what's wrong with you guys? Who cares? He's
I didn't
awesome.
like the stutter.
It was okay. Yeah, it wasn't super distracting. It was just odd.
I mean,
Well,
I
and-
didn't love the stutter. It's not like I was like, yeah, that I picture that character. with the
Having it
stutter.
be something just pointless like that is just like someone who's just pointless.
Maybe you got shocked.
You know,
I
that-
mean, realistically, you'll remember that. You'll remember him as
oh yeah.
the
Especially then he
code-breaky
turns
guy
on
who-
him, and you
Mhm.
think he's gonna turn, and then he seems like he's a really good guy when he gives her the thing back.
Honestly, I feel like the stutter almost, and yeah, say what you will, it maybe have felt like a pointless thing, but it kind of disarms you a little bit with him. You know what I mean? He seems like he's a dope, so you're like, oh yeah, we can trust this loser. I mean, listen to him. He
Yeah.
sounds like someone who wouldn't turn evil on us. Did you notice? I mean, his stutter wasn't nearly as bad when he turned evil on them.
Right.
It was like,
So then after they got the substitute core breaker. No, he didn't turn evil. He's just a scoundrel. He's just a
Right,
scoundrel.
but you know
He was
what I
gonna
mean?
die if he didn't have a contingency plan. So he
That's
had
true.
to do it to he was just saving his own
Survival
ass.
tactic. So they get to the ship with the code breaker. They break into Snoke's ship. They're gonna go to do it, and Phasma shows up and pretty much stops them getting to this turn. And that's when, Phasma.
I'll be back.
And then they just killed Phasma shortly after that. Cool, because Phasma captures Finn and Rose and the Belnice and DJ or whatever, and then they have some fight scene. Although I did like that Holdo part where she gets in the ship and she goes light speed through Snoke's ship. That was awesome. Like, it was just dead silence. There was no music playing in the movie at
And it
that
looked
moment.
fucking awesome.
And then it was just crack, and then he just flies through the ship and breaks it up, because that's what actually gives Finn and the purple haired chick. Yep. Because we even haven't even mentioned that
Like, she's
Poe turned on her, and like there's this whole other storyline going with Poe and him kind of usurping leadership and then losing it after Leia, was in a coma after her Force superheroing. And then so we didn't even talk about any of that. What did you guys like? Did you guys like about Poe's story arc? Or did you like Poe's story arc?
One thing I'd like to mention, the only thing Poe did right was in the very beginning and did the hold thing. That was the only thing he was successful at. Everything else he tried doing ended in failure.
Yeah.
If he did nothing else, they would have not as
100%.
many people would have died from that Republic.
100%.
I mean, Poe, but that's what I think was kind of gives him character. He's a mess. Like,
Well,
he's
and
now,
he was
can build up.
learning, and he was learning how to be a leader and not just a flyboy blowing stuff up. Like
He's
Leia
messed
kept telling
up
him
big
about.
time kind of thing.
Well, at the end part too, where everyone looks at Leia and she's like, he's like, let's go this way, and then everyone looks at Leia and she's like, what are you looking at me for? He's the leader, right? Like, what are you looking at me for? So, so then Finn and Rose kill Captain Phasma, which I love Phasma. I mean, I got a chrome Phasma right there. You're wearing a Phasma shirt. We're big Phasma fans, but she was definitely like hosed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was kind of cool. You got to get the drop on her. What's up?
Yeah. Yep. And then you see her face for like a second,
Yep.
like just smash through the thing.
And what did she say? You were always garbage
Always
or something
scum.
or
Yeah.
scum? Yeah.
Rebels.
Rebels.
scum.
Yeah.
Well, that's the big thing is they brought back the rebellion. By the end of this movie, and we'll get to that. Is the rebellion sign? Well, in Canto Bight, even though I hate that part, it does introduce like the kids and the rebel ring and stuff like that. So, no, it seemed to work pretty well. That sort of stuff. Like I said, I hated most of it, but there were some parts of that were necessary for the film, because it
Like
did.
that drunk little midget putting coins in.
That was
BB-8.
actually pretty funny. a lot of the comedy hit with me on this movie, to be honest.
At first, I thought that was annoying, but then when he gets to use it as
And then
ammo
he's
later,
spinning the coins later. Yep.
and the code breaker. What's up? Scooping up the coins.
Scooping up everything.
So now I can't remember. So Rey is in the throne room with Kylo Ren after she left the planet training with Luke. She shows up right about the time Finn and them arrive at the ship, because they're on the ship at the same time, right? The Rey and then Finn and Rose get to Snoke's ship about the same time, right? So while Finn and them are doing that, Rey is in Snoke's chamber with Kylo Ren and Snoke, and Snoke's going on this big, soliloquy about how he was, which was actually really cool to see. He was the one that was actually allowing the Force Skyping to take place.
Yeah.
Like, he was the internet service provider, and he was like auto connecting them, whenever
No
he
net
saw fit.
neutrality with the Force, dude.
Nope, there was none. So he connects. He was the one like manipulating the whole situation,
Yeah.
and then making her seem like she was gonna turn, or making her think Kylo was gonna turn good or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like torturing her and saying how he knows everything Kylo thinks,
the
and
puppeteer.
he's the puppeteer and stuff like that. He's gonna, he's been controlling everything the whole time.
Right.
And then you see Kylo start to turn the blue lightsaber towards Snoke, and then he ignites it and just cuts him in half. And then him and Rey,
Well, it was
start going with the guards, the red
It was
guards.
cool too, because when Snoke it was like he was like narrating it. I could see him turning the lightsaber and turning it
Right.
on, and Kylo's doing it right next to him.
Yeah, you saw it coming. It was beautiful. So now you two really like that part.
I love it, dude.
So
This
go
is
ahead and talk about that.
I mean, literally, when we're talking, and we talked about it a little bit as far as like, it's exactly how, you know, everyone claims that Lord Plagueis was Emperor Palpatine's master, and when he tells that story about how Plagueis died, it was Palpatine who did it, and he poisoned him. He like killed him in his sleep or whatever. I don't know if he poisoned him. I think he just killed him in his sleep. But regardless, that's how Sith get rid of each other. You know what I mean? They're evil, and you argue whatever you want. It was a lame death. It's like, but it's not. That's how a Sith should die, is being betrayed by his. And I saw some people that were like, he just died from like a weak wound, and I'm like, do you not realize we have laser swords in this universe? He got cut in half with a laser sword.
Turned it on at mid-body and pulled it
You know what I mean? And I guess you could argue, you know, maybe Snoke lives, you know, like freaking what's-his-face who got cut in half. But at the same time, it's like, that's exactly what I want out of a Sith death. I don't want like it doesn't need to be like an epic battle where one pits their skills against the other. It's like, obviously Snoke is stronger.
It just was a snake taking out another snake.
Exactly.
The thing I want to mention is Jeremy brought this up when we were talking about it after the movie, is he died really easily, and he's powerful enough to connect two people, and one, he has no idea where she is in the universe, connecting them together, and by the Force kind of thing, being that powerful, he would be able to sense what he's doing and how he's like, oh, you're gripping it, and like he's playing it off like he doesn't know, because he was saying Plagueis or another older Jedi guy or the Sith Lord in the past kind of thing had multiple bodies, and so then that is a reason that wasn't Snoke's real body, or right when he died, and he just wants him to believe he's not there anymore and he can still work his magic throughout the whole universe. So that's where he could be dead, and I'm fine with that death because it was cool.
Right.
He got it cut in half, and
but
he
it's
looked
very
like
possible he is so powerful he's not dead.
yeah.
And he just
and we learn nothing about Snoke. That's why I think he's still alive, because he's not dead, because they're still going to talk about who he is, and it's a bigger reveal. Because if it was someone bigger or something like that, saying that in mid-movie, like, it seems like too much to handle, where now he's dead, oh, we don't have to worry about him, and then some other evil comes about and it's still him.
But honestly, after seeing the original trilogy, did you know anything about the Emperor? Did you know where he came from, how he got his power after seeing the original trilogy?
But then they killed him after the third one, not the first time you actually meet him.
Right, I get that, but he didn't show up. But he didn't show up in the first one either. He showed up in the second, so he was only in 2 films, just like Snoke was only in the first and second. Palpatine, or the original Emperor, was only in the second and third.
Yeah, I mean,
why do we have to know where they came from, though? You know what I mean? Like, why you don't have to?
Don't. But at the same time,
I don't think they will. I don't think they will ever explain it.
His point is, Snoke could easily have just made this a thing.
And I get what you were saying, because that's an EU thing. In the expanded universe, Palpatine like brings himself back, and he's pretty much just uses different bodies.
He has a ton of clone
and they
bodies.
decay like that as he's in them. They decay faster. I hope that's not the case.
Really?
I really, really do. No, I really do. I really, really hope that's not the case. I want Kylo to be the ultimate bad guy now, and really be the supreme leader. You know, Kylo Ren, and whether he starts the Knights of Ren and begins to build like almost a new Sith order, or not Sith order, but just a new, you know, negative bad Force order.
Right.
And why she starts to build a Jedi order. I mean, honestly, I think that's where we're heading. Where do you think that, you know, that Rian Johnson trilogy that he's getting?
Right.
Where do you think that lands now? A lot of people thought that was going to be like Knights of the Old Republic stuff. Where do you think it's going to be?
I mean,
side note real quick.
It's a tough call, dude, because Knights of the Old Republic makes the most sense because there's the most options there. But they could easily do after these three.
That's what I was thinking. Why not go like why not go in like the future? You know what I mean? Instead of going like 200 years back, why don't we go like 200 years past where we are right now? You know what I mean?
Yeah, like current time.
Because there's only been like, since the original Star Wars, since the prequels till now, like current time.
Yeah, you like that one? Because it was a long time ago.
Yeah, I caught
Galaxy far, far away.
So from the prequels till now, it's been like what, maybe 100 years, you know, Star Wars.
Right.
So they could definitely jump a couple hundred years into the future, and I think that would be all right. You know?
Right.
But, all right. So then after the Snoke part, then that's when the Phasma and Finn fights takes place, and Finn kills Phasma, and she gets her disservice. BB-8 saves them, by the way, by running that ATST. What did you guys think of that? Did you guys like the BB-8 doing the ATST thing?
Too goofy and stupid.
What about
the walker thing?
Yeah.
That was okay. It's kind of cool seeing BB-8 come out. Hey, you guys need to ride?
I mean,
Come
as
on.
dumb as everyone says it is, they're like, that's so stupid. It's like, but at the same time, considering what these droids can do in ships and unlocking and opening doors, easily doable by a droid. Easily. They fly the ships, for goodness sakes.
yeah.
I mean, that's why they're in there, is to help fly the ships and repair them. So if the pilot gets knocked out and, you know, during a jump or something, the robot flies the ship. It completely has the capability, and you may not like it, and it may not be cool because he's a dumb little ball droid.
To your
but
point
still.
too, like, was it BB-8 or DB-8?
BB-8.
BB-8. So in the beginning, in the fight sequence when he loses his guns, BB-8's the one that fixes his arm or his weapon system. Oh,
Yeah.
He's like,
That was funny.
Yeah, because he's like the kid poking his finger in the hole in the dike, and another one pops open, and,
Right.
and he finally just sticks his whole head in there.
Right.
Yeah. No, I like that. I like that part. I like BB-8 in this one a lot.
Right, and it's not like
When they got in the ship and when that evil BB-8, and then they had to throw the like garbage can on top of him when they were in the. He was running into everything. That was funny. Oh, that's what gave him away to the bad droid. Is like him running into everything.
Yeah, isn't that the one? Yeah, it's the one in the Verizon commercial.
So then we get to that
Yeah.
crate. So then we finally get to that crate planet. Which, dude, there was, by the time they got to crate, how many resistance people were left? 20, 30?
like nothing.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what everyone was.
Final hanger.
Yeah.
That was another complaint I
On the
heard
mineral
from a bunch
planet.
of people
I like
is
that mineral planet though. That crate planet looked cool with the
There-
red and the.
I heard red or saw whatever on the interweb out there about some of the Star Wars stuff that the caves and caverns that Chewie was flying in and out of. Those are supposedly the crystals that were used in the
Kyber crystals?
in the lightsabers.
That I don't know.
Oh.
That I'm not sure about. Someone maybe comment or tell us. That I'm not 100% sure about.
Yeah.
They only talk about the salt being on the top, being the white stuff, not snow.
Well, and
so
the
that's
dude who
only
licks
thing
it
they talk
says
about.
salty. The guy standing next to him is Gareth Edwards, the dude who directed Rogue One.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah,
so
a little
funny.
Easter egg for you. Yeah, because actually Ryan Johnson had a cameo in Rogue One.
Oh,
Yeah.
what part was he in?
Oh gosh. I can't remember right now.
Okay,
heard
well,
this,
it's not that weird.
That the princes are in this as stormtroopers, or is that a Facebook or?
Prince Harry in them?
Yeah.
That I don't know either.
I heard they get to make cameos as stormtroopers, so you would know it was them. But
Right. Well, they did that with like Daniel Craig in Force Awakens, so highly plausible. I haven't heard that one though. So then now we're on Crate. So it's the final battle. They dropped the cool looking ATST or the AT-ATs. Those new AT-ATs look pretty cool.
They
The
are
ones that
pretty
had,
sick.
they were like more heavily armored.
It seems like everything has improved technology-wise for the First Order, except for the frickin' Stormtrooper armor is like 100 times worse. It like explodes when it's hit with blasters. It doesn't do anything. It's worthless.
Yeah, no, that
Phasmas.
Yeah, Phasma's is the only
No,
one that's worth a dang.
she
Yeah,
got killed like crazy.
right. But
quick
her,
too.
they shot her with the bullet and it bounced right off.
Oh yeah.
Her armor's good, but everybody else's armor's trash. It literally shatters like
they
glass.
got one set of the premium armor. That was the when the company
Naboo cruiser
when the
stuff?
company was showing the armor. That's when they brought, and they're like, "This is the price." And like, well, you got a next tier down. Like we're trying to save costs here. Like we might be the First Order, but we gotta like.
got the demo model.
Yeah, she got
But
she got
let's be
the
realistic,
high
though.
price demo
Who does
model.
the First Order really care about? They're like generals and lieutenants, or the foot soldiers.
Generals and lieutenants.
Exactly. So why would you? I mean, Phasma armor should be 100 times better.
But then
than
she's the only
regular
one
guy.
wearing the armor too. The rest of them, like General Hux, wears like cloth, pretty much. He's got nothing.
Right, but he's
you
not
know?
like a
Full
stormtrooper
of
leader.
himself,
I
and
guess.
you be a special.
But even all the other officers, all they wear is like it's like a cloth uniform. It's not even. They have no.
Well, have we
armor.
seen someone at Phasma's rank? Anyone else?
She's the only one at her rank.
Right.
I don't know.
So that's kind of my point.
So when we're on Crate and the battle's taking place, and then Luke shows up,
Mm-hmm.
So Luke shows up at Crate, and he's got his beard trimmed, and he dyed his hair, and he's wearing all black, and then he ignites a lightsaber, and then
winks to C-3PO when he's walking by him.
yep, winks to 3PO after he talked to Leia. Walks out with his lightsaber, faces down the First Order, and they shoot him with everything they got.
Kylo Ren says, "Hit him with every gun we have."
Although that was pretty cool when the Millennium Falcon rolled in with Rey and Chewie, and he freaked out and was like, "Shoot that plane," or shoot that thing down,
Right,
and sent
right.
all the TIE fighters after the Millennium Falcon because it's pure. He goes off pure emotion, you
Right,
know what I
which
mean?
kind of shows what kind of. I mean, he's still going to be a dangerous leader, but it shows you how easy it is for them to
Get one
rile
up on him.
Yeah.
Was it a poll that says, "Oh, they hate that ship"?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. No, so then,
Ray was doing a good job shooting the shit out of those TIE fighters.
yeah, oh yeah, she's a heck of a
Yeah.
pilot. She's a heck of a pilot.
Well, and I heard people complaining like, "Oh, Rey knows more about the Millennium Falcon than Han Solo." I'm like, why? Because she could fly it,
Well, Chewie's still
shoot it?
there.
Right? Yeah.
Chewie,
I don't
Chewie's still
understand
there.
that.
He's the co-pilot, so
She was
Right.
just shooting. She was in the guns turret.
And then, oh yeah, she was on the gun turret. She
Yeah.
wasn't even flying. Chewie was flying.
Chewie was
Chewie and the
flying.
Porg were flying.
Right.
Co-pilot Porg.
Right. The Porg. That's what people should be complaining about. The Porgs could
No.
fly better than Han Solo.
Like it when he's like, "Get off my dash."
Yep, when he hit him off. And they had the little nest in there and stuff. So I was actually thinking about that. So when they brought the Porgs to Crate, now are they spreading Porgs across the galaxy like an invasive species? Yeah, like across the galaxy.
We should have got Josh.
I've heard
Josh in
I
here.
heard
He'd be
that
able to tell
Porgs.
us more.
We were talking about the Porgs being tribbles last night.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris was talking about that. The couch was talking about that.
Star Wars tribbles.
Pretty much. There's like a meme going out there. It's got like it's Kirk, but he's surrounded by Porgs instead of tribbles. Like someone already did the edit. So thank you, internet. So then they blast him, and he's still standing there. So Kylo goes down to meet him.
No, that was after he's done. That was the best part. You think you got him, and
Right.
then Luke walks over, flicks his shoulder.
Brush the dirt off your shoulder.
Right.
So I think I just hit this thing like twice. But so then after that, Kylo comes down, and they have their battle, which they'd never actually like crossed lightsabers.
Right.
Get me down there now.
Yep.
And then the one guy
You should
says something when he's like,
you should point out that that thing you told me about
Okay.
his feet.
The two tells that you can. Okay, so Luke wasn't really there. It was a forced projection of himself. There's two tells. One, he's holding the lightsaber that they destroyed on Snoke's ship that they had just pulled apart. He's holding the same blue
Blue
lightsaber.
one, yep.
Second tell is there's a part where they're
Rey
fighting.
and
Yep,
Kylo?
the one that they destroyed. That's the one Luke's holding. How
Right.
could he be holding it if they just
Because
destroyed it?
his
'Cause he's not
saber
really
is
there.
green.
His saber's green.
Right,
Because that's the one he
Luke's-
lights.
yes.
Yep. That's the one he lights up when, his old saber. We don't know if he still has that one.
Right.
He might have gotten rid of that because that
But
was
he wouldn't
cool.
have made a new one that's
It was
blue.
cool when you saw the X-wing that was underwater back at the thing.
Yeah.
But all right, so the two tells, the lightsaber is holding, and then Kylo drags his foot across the thing, and red dust comes up. Luke drags his foot, no red dust comes up.
I didn't catch that.
That's how those are the two tells that
The
you can
only
tell
reason
Luke's not really
he can
there.
catch it is because he's been playing so much Battlefront on that map, Crate, and it does the exact same thing in the
does.
game.
Well,
It does.
I've seen it twice already.
I did see it twice. I almost went with you last
I know,
night and
it's
see it a
like-
third time.
I was thinking about going tonight. Like 3.
Yeah, but me and him were sitting doing this, so he said, because the audio's crispy tonight. It's not all off.
It's not. Took a lot of work to get it.
It did. It did take a lot of work. All right, so then that fight happens. While that's going on, I like the crystal foxes. Those things I thought were cool.
They're kind of cool. Yeah.
Like they didn't overuse them, just like
Right.
the Porgs, and they were kind of pivotal to the story on how they got out of the cave. And then Rey used it to lift rocks, which when Luke asked her in the beginning, what's a Jedi do? Is like move things with move rocks, and what was the other thing?
Lift things.
Lift things lift things with their mind, and she said something else
Push
too,
people, pull
but I can't
stuff?
remember.
I
can't remember, but she said like something, and then it's funny. He said to Kylo and her, everything you just said in that sentence was wrong to each of them about different things.
Yep.
And then he was like, "See you around, kid," and he like disappears. And then it goes to Luke on the island because he was there the whole time, projecting himself across
Right.
space,
Well, I liked
physically there.
I liked
Oh,
it too, though, when it came down to those two, and then he gave him whole thing, the whole speech, like Obi-Wan and Darth.
Yep.
If you strike me down in anger or whatever,
Right.
I will always be with you, or I'll forever be with you.
Just like your father.
Because
But then-
I mean, they showed Yoda conjuring lightning to start that
Yeah.
fire.
Yeah,
and
that
that's
was pretty cool.
I was.
No Force
Thank
Ghost
you.
could do that.
Thank you. And way to give him the mic when he said that.
oh, sorry.
So what
Yeah.
Marty just said, because I wasn't heard because he was coughing into the mic instead of handing it to him while I was talking. Marty said the Yoda part where he burns down the tree, and I was just gonna say we just forgot to talk about the Yoda part, and you're getting torn apart in the comment section, by the way, about the Wonder Woman thing. So you'll have to read that when we're done. It's hilarious. 'Cause I'm reading the live chat right now, and you're right, Brian. How could he host BBB and not have seen Wonder Woman? Is a completely inaccurate statement. But going back to Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
Going back to Last Jedi, Yoda shows up and gets a cameo, and he's talking to Luke when he's still on the island because Luke was gonna burn the books and the tree down. Yep, and Yoda shows up, and Yoda actually makes lightning, and that's the first time you kind of can see that a Force ghost can physically, you know, like.
Did you notice that the books are on the Millennium Falcon now?
I did notice that. So then Yoda shows up and he's like, same old Skywalker, and then tells him why he's wrong still to this day, and pretty much quit being a, you know.
But look into the horizon.
Yep.
Look where you are right now.
There you go.
And
There
then
you
didn't
go.
Tell him to making mistakes. That's how you learn.
Yep. And that you want your, you know, the Master's biggest problem is that.
I mean, Masters. It was something like Masters. That's how you learn is failure or something.
Right,
You know,
yep.
failure is basically
Yep.
what it.
And that was
should be.
awesome having Yoda back. So then after he says goodbye, kid, she lifts the rocks. They all escape. It looks like Luke disappears.
Sees all the rocks, lifting rocks.
When you see the two sons when Luke kind of fades away. So Luke Skywalker is dead, but we'll get Force Ghost Luke in 9,
Right,
so I'm not
right.
too worried about it, you know. Especially showing that because they've always said, what does Obi-Wan say in A New Hope? Strike me down now, and I'll become more powerful than you can ever imagine. They've never showed a Force Ghost being that powerful until Luke
Right.
doing the projection, and then Yoda with the lightning thing, which was cool. And it was awesome that Rey had stolen the books. Yoda knew the books weren't in there when he burned it down, you know, because Luke was going to burn it down. Then he hesitated, just like with Kylo Ren. And then Yoda showed up and just like, I'll do it for you, kid.
Did you like the little torch thing where it looked like a lightsaber where and a little
Yeah.
flame
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah.
So dorky.
I didn't know what it was, and then all of a sudden the flames are shooting. I'm like, what? That is a lame ass torch.
Yeah. Dude, that. I did enjoy this movie like thoroughly. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then you get Broom Boy, who, you know, at the end, who walks out, uses the Force to grab the broom. You see the Rebel ring, and we fade to black. Yeah, it was a great movie. I can see. I didn't really have that many problems with it.
Right.
You know, I really didn't. You can nitpick a few things, but some of the stuff that I've
But I
seen
think
is a
most
little
of the
out of control.
nitpicking is usually people who, number one, are mad they didn't get enough of something, which is I've never seen a movie torn up so bad for giving you a little bit of something you wanted, but not nearly enough of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I love Captain Phasma, which was in this movie, but she wasn't in it enough, so I hate this movie. 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. You
Well,
know
she
what
was
I mean?
used as much as Boba Fett. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like it's really.
More than Boba. Like
what was I
three
telling
times
you?
More
I
than
don't care
Boba
if you
Fett.
dislike this movie or you hate this movie
Right.
or you love this movie or it's the best for you. And we're gonna go through our list of top, 1 through 9. No, we'll do worse after that. But we gotta do Star Wars movies. If you're a fan of a franchise, and I don't care if this is DC, I don't care if this is Marvel, I don't care.
Dragon Ball Evolution.
Right. I don't care what it is. Did Dolph Ziggler just win the Intercontinental Championship?
Oh, jeez.
No, he did. No,
Yeah.
we'll talk about it in Wrestling in the Basement.
See, we've gone way too off the rails with Star Wars.
We're like 22 minutes into the pay-per-view. It's fine.
Meh, whatever.
What was I just saying?
Fans.
Oh, if you're a fan of any franchise, regardless of the franchise, and they put out something you don't like, and you say I'm done with this franchise, you're not a real fan of that franchise. I wouldn't never give up on Dragon Ball Z for a bad filler episode
right.
or a bad story arc. I would never give up on any cinematic universe I'm fond of because they put out a movie that wasn't what I wanted it to be, or they didn't tell the story I wanted them to tell.
Yeah, you haven't given up on your Batmans or your that Star Wars cartoon one you guys watch.
Rebels. No, we haven't given up on Rebels. I just can't afford to pay for Disney XD to get it.
I know you've got. I've heard
Right,
you guys say there's been
some
bad
episodes, the space whales and whatnot.
Space whales on Rebels. But yeah, if you're a true fan of any, property, and they put out something you're not a fan of, and you say I'm done with this franchise, then you really weren't a fan. You liked it. You know what I mean? Like, they're never gonna put anything there. I'm gonna be like, I'm done watching Star Wars.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think there's anything they could do.
Pizza.
Yeah,
Even a bad pizza is still pizza.
still pizza. Yep,
Right.
exactly. All right, so let's do this. Star Wars movies in order of favorite to least favorite, 1 through 9. We'll go in the same order we've been going all night.
Okay.
Brian, you start us off.
I'm gonna
All
say.
right, let's go. Are we gonna start with best and go to least favorite?
Yeah, best.
Okay.
I'm gonna go. We'll say 5. So that's
Empire Strikes
Empire
Back.
Strikes Back. Then I'm gonna go A New Hope.
Okay.
Honestly, I like A New Hope just because it's
The original.
like the beginning and just like I like Fellowship of the Rings.
Okay. No, I don't need explanations. Just list.
Okay. Well,
This will take it all day if we go through each and explain
I
them
mean,
all.
this is gonna take all day regardless.
No, just come on.
Um,
So we got 5, 4.
I'm gonna have to be that guy and just go 6 again.
Jedi.
go
Okay, original trilogy.
But then I'd probably put. We'll say. I'll put Force Awakens next.
Okay.
Then I will put Rogue One.
All right.
I'm gonna go ahead and toss one of the prequels in. I'm gonna go 3.
Right.
I'm gonna put Last Jedi next.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna go Phantom Menace. Last one being Clone Wars.
Oh, Attack of the Clones.
Attack of the Clones.
All right, Martin.
So,
Clones is the worst then?
Attack of the Clones would be his least favorite.
Is that the Jar
Second
Jar
one. No, Phantom Menace is the first one with Jar Jar. Oh, Jar Jar's in all the original trilogy. Martin, go ahead.
I'm gonna say 6, Rogue One,
So Jedi, Rogue One.
1.
Whoa.
Phantom
Phantom
yeah,
Menace.
Phantom Menace.
Okay.
Because of pod racing.
Okay,
That
okay.
video game's best. but-
Sure.
And then Force Awakens, the new one.
Last Jedi.
Last Jedi, and then the rest are all about that. Because I like the original, but again, if I rewatch it now, I'm not gonna get the same excitement I get out of the newer quality ones. Just personal preference.
So, okay. All right.
So he's got like a top 5. The rest all kind of blend at the bottom.
the same. Okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of a slight cop out, but I'll give it to you. All right, Chad. No, it's all right.
Oh man. The best.
Maybe just give us your top 3 if you can't remember all of them.
Yeah. I really like this one Last Jedi one, and then Rogue One I liked.
Yeah.
And then I like the one with the Anakin and this pod racing one.
Yep.
Phantom
Phantom Menace.
Yeah. And then which one is the one where he gets his hand cut off?
Which one?
Empire.
Luke.
That's Empire.
Empire.
Yep.
And then mixed match.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
rest of
He's
them?
got the. Yeah.
All right. So and then
fair, that's fair.
and that saves time, anyways. So for me, it would go. How do I feel today? 1 and 2 can just go back and forth, either way. We'll go
Focus on Star
today.
Wars.
Well, it's gonna shut off here in a minute. Today I'm gonna go Empire, Jedi, Last Jedi, Force Awakens, Return of the Sith, Revenge of the Sith. Oh yeah, Return of the Jedi, Revenge of the Sith. I got that mixed in my brain for a second. Rogue One, Force Awakens, New Hope, Menace, Clones.
That's our lists were almost. I mean, there's like a couple movie discrepancy. I think I like A New Hope better than you, but other than that,
Yeah,
our
you like
lists
A
are-
New Hope a lot better than I do.
our lists are pretty dang close. Which is
That would be my list.
Yeah.
That would be my list. All right, that's it. Any Any predictions for our episode 9?
No, it's just
Still coming back.
well, yeah. I
Snoke
guess
coming
that's-
back. How about you? Any predictions for episode 9?
Hopefully Ray gets some more training somehow.
Well, who's gonna train her?
Some saucy action between Finn,
books.
the Asian, and Ray.
No, it's
And
gonna be
what?
Poe. He was talking about
No,
saucy action nursery.
no. Okay.
Which is funny because everyone was saying like Finn and Poe were gonna
Finn
be
and Poe are gonna have their.
they were
thing,
gonna be
yeah,
gay
yeah,
together,
yeah.
but
No, that was a big.
that was a huge thing when
rumor, yeah.
when Force Awakens came out,
Yep.
and they totally jumped out of that one. And
Well, that was
went-
never. That was more just fans reading into things. That's why like a lot of people are so pissed because like you speculate and this and that and the third, and then
yeah,
nothing goes the way that like.
Snoke is Mace Windu.
Let them tell their stories. Snoke is the stormtrooper that bumped his head in the original. Like,
Oh my
dude,
gosh!
the Snoke theories were the best.
Yeah.
And now now you can theorize about what's to come. I think Jedi Order is coming back. I think Knights of Ren prominent. Yeah, I think we're good going forward. I trust JJ, but I think this movie won't take as many chances.
Well, that's JJ.
What do you think about Ray's parents being nobodies and they sold her for drinking money and are in a pauper's grave somewhere?
I mean, realistically, totally 110%
who
plausible.
called that?
But
Remember I said that?
at the same time, I've heard
He doesn't
people
want to admit
say
he remembers me saying that.
he did say that. He did say that.
There we go.
But
That's
I've
what I
also heard
wanted.
people say that would have been exactly what evil Kylo Ren would have said to convince her to
Right,
join.
right. I've heard that argument too. So they could retcon it if they want.
Right.
They
So
could.
it
I hope
literally
they
is
don't,
open to
but
anything.
They could.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at Ryan
It makes
Johnson,
more
Ryan
sense to
Johnson
be
Johnson
nobody.
pretty much said like he's not lying to her. But if he was, you couldn't say that he was. So it could be a red
Right.
herring. Either way. All right. Worst movie of the year. Transformers: The Last Night.
Mm-hmm.
By far. Does anybody else have a worst of the year? You can watch my complete meltdown about that movie on episode whatever it is.
That's the whole reason I haven't watched it yet.
What?
How bad you hated it.
Oh, it was I saw god awful.
Honestly, I don't think I saw anything that I knew wasn't going to be good this year. Usually me and Martin see stuff together that's horrible, but we didn't this year, I don't think.
I went to go see the third Rings. That was pretty bad. But
There we go.
I was
Ring-
drunk, so it was not
No,
bad.
I heard it
But
was a pretty bad movie.
If it wasn't the drinking, it would have been
Yeah.
horrid. It would have
Did
been
anyone see 50 Shades Darker?
No.
I didn't know that. I thought
Yeah,
that
I
I didn't
saw
know
the
that
first one.
actually like went
50
out,
Shades
came out.
freed now. Every Valentine's Day.
Oh jeez.
Yep.
Really?
Yep. Here, hold on that for a second. I gotta go do something.
So well, did you see anything horrible this year?
I don't remember seeing a bad one.
See, that's the thing. I don't really go to anything that's horrendous most of the time, except for when we used to go. We used
Yeah.
to see everything, no matter how, especially when it was. Do you remember that?
Gives some credit to the bad films like
Right.
Transformers,
Yeah, yeah.
because you see the bad. Like if you watch all of it, the little crappy movies aren't that bad. I mean,
Yeah.
that's why I say I didn't mind the new Transformers movie because
It-
it graphically looked cool. And it's like any other Transformers movie that has come out. So what were you expecting?
No, it's not. No, because
Giant robots fighting each other, cars blowing up. That's what
but when
all I
it comes
expected.
to the mythology of Transformers and like Unicron being Earth and like the whole reason like
You don't need to start this rant. He literally had like a 25-minute rant on
my
it
head's
the other
getting
day.
hot thinking about this. My head's getting hot thinking about this
Have some
film.
purple cup.
Yeah, you know what? I need to take a sip. All right. Let's switch gears here. All right, 17 is almost in the books. 2018 is right on the corner. Movie you're most excited for out of Infinity War, Black Panther, Deadpool 2, Aquaman, and Han Solo.
Can I say for Ready Player One?
Oh, Ready Player One.
Because that's pretty
That
nerdy.
trailer. Did you see that new trailer?
Yeah,
that
it
new
looks
Ready Player
sick.
One trailer.
It was so cool.
That
Yeah.
was ridiculous. Gosh, maybe we should play. Maybe we should play it. I don't know if I could get that.
That might be too complicated for you.
Ooh, that would be a challenge. It would be. No,
We'll
it
just-
really,
we'll
it
just-
really would be a challenge.
Don't taint
So,
it.
no.
Yeah, don't taint this episode, dude.
So
Keep your
Ready Player
taint-
One.
taint
No, Ready
away.
Player One's up there. What about for you? Most anticipated. I'll show you a taint.
You know, I'm gonna have to say Black Panther because that's the one that I've seen like the most and been the most excited for. But when you say like Aquaman and all these
Deadpool
other
2?
stuff, you see Deadpool 2.
Bob Ross thing.
As much as I will enjoy that movie, I think, I guess it's kind of like Guardians. I was excited, but not nearly as excited. I'm more excited to see something new, something that's already. I'm like, yeah, I'll like that. You know what I
We've
mean?
already seen Black Panther.
But not a Black Panther movie. It's very.
Welcome
different.
to the Uso Penitentiary.
Would you stop watching wrestling so
I'm
we can
not.
finish the 100th episode?
I'm not. Kinda. What am I most looking forward to next year? Definitely not Han Solo.
Really?
No, I think it's gonna be trash.
Get out of here.
I really do. I think it's gonna be trash.
Oh yeah, because it's gonna be like young Han Solo.
Yeah, young Han Solo. You know, they're just calling the movie Solo, a Star Wars story. Yep. I'm
How
rolling
much dancing
Han
do you
Solo.
think's gonna be in Han Solo?
None.
A lot.
You know those dice are gonna be in. Those dice are gonna be
Guaranteed
in it.
110%.
Oh yeah, those dice are gonna come up.
You notice
The
he
gold-
stole those. He just stole them. He didn't tell it, but again, Ray did steal the books. So
They were forced. No, the
No, he
dice.
took them from the ship, and they're still on that island.
Oh really?
Yeah,
disappeared at the
they
end.
disappeared.
No,
because
those
he was
were-
just a
yeah.
hologram or what, force hologram. Or
Yep.
whatever.
Right. Instead of leaving him in the ship, which
He left him for Kylo to find though.
well, and guess who's in the ship?
They were in
now?
there for Kylo to
Which-
find.
Did you notice they faded after he already faded?
Right. Well, and because he was there for Kylo to find him. Once Kylo touched him, that's when they went away. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But guess who's on the ship now and doesn't ever get to recover her husband's dice that meant so much to her
Leia,
when he showed him?
who's dead.
Yeah, because he took him like a jerk.
I think they should start with her funeral, in the next literally start with her funeral. You know what I mean? Yep, Leia's funeral, and the crawl because they're gonna have to do one hell of a crawl for the next one.
Yeah.
The opening crawl.
At the end though, when it said in memory of Carrie Fisher.
Yeah, that was a nice piece.
Now, I never stayed till the end. Was there any after credit scenes or anything?
No,
like
they
that?
don't do that
Okay.
for Star Wars.
That's what I thought.
Oh,
That's what I just
so
thought.
most
Okay.
anticipated movie of next year, Chad, go.
Most anticipated at this time would be Black Panther, Deadpool 2.
Yeah, just most anticipated. Your number one.
Number
Number
one.
one will be Black Panther right now.
Yeah. See,
I'm
Yeah,
the
I
only
agree
one.
with
Deadpool 2. 100%. Deadpool 2. Black Panther's gonna be great. I have no doubt. But it's part of the MCU. And I've seen Deadpool 1, but this one's gonna have a much bigger budget. And after the deal, I would love to see if they slip something in
Right.
post credits. Like there is time because that movie doesn't come out till summer. There is time.
Oh, like he did that in the first one?
Yep. Very interesting. Very interesting. All right, we should wrap it up. We've been going like what? An hour 30? Nope. Let's wrap. It's a wrap.
It's
Should we wrap it?
That's fine.
We're almost an hour into the pay-per-view we're missing. Wrestling in the Basement is going to be coming up after this in about
Wow.
2.5 hours.
Depending if my back survives any longer.
No, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. We'll be in chairs with the table next
That's
time.
true.
We won't be on the couch. You know what I mean? And you could have sat back. You're choosing to lean forward.
Yep. This is a good position. So
All right. Well, Base Boy Banner, I'm Thor. That's Brian. Like, share, and subscribe. Oh, we are on the trying to get to the goal of 100 subscribers.
woo.
Oh,
How do you like that one?
oh yeah.
Keep the excitement.
Oh yeah.
It's not
Oh,
supposed
grab it. Grab some streamers. Grab some streamers. Hand up. No. Here, give me a hooked one. There we go. Oh, they're unraveling as you're throwing them. There you go. Oh, see, I got that one good. Dude, you're the worst. Oh, there we go. That was dope.
Streamers.
All right, Basement Boy Banner's the YouTube channel. We talk about nerd stuff on a pretty regular basement.
In a pretty regular basement.
regular basement.
Right, basis. Basement Boy Banner. Like, share, and subscribe. Till the next video. Watch some other videos and do all that sort of stuff. Deuces.
Deuces.
I don't say that.